So all of my doom and gloom there, I kind of regret. And the Suns are probably going to be a pretty good team this year. So, the biggest one is obviously the Warriors, but we covered that before. I just think one of the things that's really interesting in terms of predictions is that I'm interested to watch in the next couple weeks because I feel like the Celtics and the Bucks, and then the Lakers and the Rockets are slowly separating themselves in the two conferences right now. The Rockets got off to kind of a rough start, and since then, they've really just been lights out, and they're starting to figure out how to use those two guys in Harden and Westbrook. And it's scary because they're going to be an absolute juggernaut on offense during the regular season because Harden can get anything he wants at half court, and then Westbrook in transition is just an absolute animal. And they've got guys like Clint Capella to help rebound. I mean, they're really interesting because they can play any style of game with those two. And so I'm really interested to see how that team does. Um, I don't know though. I think I'm with you. I'm not gonna go back on my predictions just yet, but um, yeah, I just think there have been some pretty good surprises. The Mavericks come to mind. The Raptors, they've been really fun to watch. So, are there any teams that you're kind of keeping an eye on?
Yeah, the Nets. Honestly, I think they'll get better. No, I mean, I'm kidding. I do think they'll be better. As far as teams I'm keeping an eye on, I mean, the Pacers have to be one of them. They got Miles
hmm
Turner back from a sprained ankle. Oladipo's return is right around the corner, and with the East being wide open, I think they're a team to keep an eye on. I mean, I think the Hawks too. When Collins comes back from his suspension, that might help. Trey Young's been playing really good basketball. Uh, let's see, the Nets, the Hawks. Yeah, that's about it for me. Do you have any?
Well, I mean, I think couple. One thing that I've really been interested to see is that the Bucks just. I've watched them play the Bulls twice. They really don't have much of an offense without Giannis. And it makes you wonder how much they're going to regret. You mentioned the Pacers, how much they're going to regret letting Brogdon go. Because with the Celtics playing the way they are, you really have to start to wonder if the Bucks are even going to make the conference finals with the way that this conference is right now. Because when you watch that team without Giannis, they don't have any source of offense, and Middleton is just not a real legit number two guy. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch the Bucks as they come along. I think they're going to be a good regular season team, but I sort of want to see if this is a team that can prove it. I mean, I think a lot of people penciled them in to the finals this year, and while the Sixers have struggled, who are my pick, I feel better about the Sixers and even a team like the Celtics right now than I do about the Bucks, just because of the way that the rest of the team around Giannis has played, and that I don't know if there's anyone I can count on that team beyond Giannis.
Dude, it is so early. I know it's our job to talk about this, but it is so early. And like we're trying to find stories in little crevices that are not stored. Like, give me a month, okay? Like, I think the true identity of a team comes after Christmas, unless you're the Nets with Irving and Levert out, or you're the Pelicans with Zion yet to play. I mean, give me till Christmas, and I will sing all of these teams suck or these teams are great. You want? I'm sticking to my guns and just enjoying these games. I mean, there really isn't too much more to read into. It's been a very compelling early start to the season. There's been triple doubles galore. You're seeing all these young stars shine. You're seeing some old vets really start to say, hey, they still belong here. And when you put that all in a cauldron, stir it up, and give Professor Snape 10 points to Slytherin, you have made a very nice combination of hoops to watch. And it's just a joy to see.
Yeah, you said it, and we're going to be watching this whole year, but for this week, we have a few pretty good matchups coming up that we picked out. So of course it's time, Jason, for our marquee matchups of the week. And I want to steal one out of here because it's going to be a really tasty matchup tomorrow with the Eastern Conference leading Boston Celtics traveling to both of our Western Conference Finals picks. We both picked them to to come out of the West, make it to the NBA Finals, and that is the Clippers. The Celtics will get a real prove-it game here. While they're a little shorthanded, they've had some injuries. I expect that Kawhi Leonard will come back for this game. He's missed a few, but it seems like he's kind of on his way back. If that happens, this will be a really interesting game and a potential finals preview, Jason.
Yeah, I think it is. And before we do the other two, do you disagree? Because you've been secretly dumping all over my marquee matchups. Hey, Jason, you missed this. I think this is a good matchup. So before we do the other two, like, are you okay with these? Like, do you need to go back to the schedule and just undermine me some more?
These are great. I mean, you picked the three games that we have here are some of the best we'll see all season, let
It
alone
only
this
took
week.
me 5 shows to get the marquee matchups of the week. Thank you so much, Benjamin. You know what I bet Flo had to tell you after.
Sassy.
You know what I want to bet that Flo had to tell you before the show. She wanted to tell you how good my marquee matchups were this week.
They
So
are pretty
Flo,
great.
next time you want to come on, you don't have to whisper to your husband. You could just come on and say, "Boom, these marquee matchups are great." So please tell Flo that when we get off the air. But our second marquee matchup of the week is Sunday the 24th, while everyone's home after their pre-Thanksgiving shopping. You're going to want to watch the Mavericks at the Rockets.
Yeah, you are.
2 of the 3 Texas Triangles teams tangling there. That was great alliteration by me. With the Spurs losing 6 straight, it's really a 2-horse race here in the state of Texas. But Mavs at Rockets is going to be one keeping an eye on. You have Doncic versus Harden.
What do you think the over/under for that game should be, Jason? I mean, what do you think? 250? No, it's probably higher than that.
I would
280?
say 263.
I mean, that's going to be an absolute barn burner. And the Doncic versus Harden, although I really doubt either of them will guard each other very much, um, they're going to score. Those two alone might score 80 points, maybe 90. I mean, James Harden's averaging almost 40 points a game right now, Jason, which is just mind-boggling. So great pick there. And
And
then
while he's at the line, before we get to our last one, while he's at the line, James Harden, during his 50 free throw attempts a game, he's going to be singing, "Don't itch with your beard was nice like mine. Don't itch with your beard was silky like mine." I mean, for
we just
anyone
have to end
listening,
the show right now. There's no coming back from the peak of that
you
little
don't know the song
summer.
"Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Hot Like Me" by the Pussycat Dolls? I
Oh,
just
I
remixed it.
recall it. I mean, where can we go from there? I don't think we can get any better than that. I mean, I almost feel like we need to call the show, but I'm gonna keep going. I think we might need to get a little second dose of that to end the show, but following such a great matchup and such a great cover of a classic pop song is another one of our great matchups of the week. Although this one is technically next week. So we're cheating a little bit, but on Monday, the Utah Jazz travel to Milwaukee to face the Bucks, and we will see. And one of the things that I think is great about this matchup, and a reason why it was such a great choice by you, Jason, is that we will get to see if Giannis can really score over a guy like the Stifle Tower, as he is affectionately known, Rudy Gobert, who is perhaps the best defensive player in the league. And then on the other hand, you have perhaps the best offensive player in the league. So that's going to be the old immovable object and unstoppable force coming together. So I think that's going to be a really, really great matchup. And again, a good test for this Milwaukee team because I have felt, as I just said, that this is a very vulnerable Milwaukee team that just really doesn't have much around Giannis, and I worry a little bit that teams are gonna, if they can take Giannis out of the game a little bit, I just don't know if there's anyone else who can get them the points they need to win these games.
Dude, we're not cheating. We do our podcast on Tuesdays. So the marquee matches for the week are always Wednesday to Monday. If you weren't so busy making fun of my picks all the time, you would know that.
You're right, Jason. I apologize, but I don't apologize to viewers because we have picked some great matchups here. Those are three of the best ones you're going to find all season. So, in preparation for your Thanksgiving feast on this delicious, delicious set of matchups in the NBA because you're not going to find better games. So, Jason, great picks this week. I'm looking forward to watching all these games. I hope you are too, and I hope everyone else listening is. But that brings us to the end, Jason, unless you have any final thoughts for our beloved listeners.
Well, thank you for listening once again. We are starting our second 100 episode journey. I guess I tried to find a way to form that sentence, but episode 101 in the books. We thank you for listening. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review.
5 stars only, please.
And take us out, Ben, because I feel a song coming on.
Well, you can't just put me on the spot like this. I'm not a pussycat doll
No, 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 no,
singer.
no, 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 no. I'm not
Jason.
asking you to sing. I'm asking you to do the "We'll be back next week," and then I'm going to go out with a song. Spoiler alert.
Oh, baby. Oh, right. Not a song. Not a song. Got it.
No, no, no.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Don't you wish your podcast was fun like ours? Don't you wish your podcast had Dame like bars?